Hey guys, what's up, and welcome to my very first Land Solo tutorial in After Effects. And today I'm going to be showing you how to create this spinning globe and make it seamless as well. So you can use this for anything really. Like if I turn off the background, you can even like render this out as its own transparent thing. Turn back on if you just want it to be there for different you got like words going around, whatever the case may be. But this is just a very basic tutorial on how to create this particular animation here that you see here. Okay, before we get started, what you're gonna need is some version of After Effects. I believe you can do this in CC, like kind of After Effects CC5 or something, or is it CC5 or 5? I don't know. You can go probably 2 generations behind and still use this for something or the other. And that's about it. You don't really need any other piece of software. I'm not going to go into the type of hardware you may need because that's a whole different, thing. Yeah. But anyway, let's get started, shall we? So, we're going to create a new composition, and there are about 3 different ways you can go about creating a new composition here. There's even like a very interesting way of like just dragging something you want to work with from get and just drop it into your composition, but whatever. So do it the manual way. You just go up to composition, hit new composition, and we're going to call this basic 3D world. All right. Width and height does not matter. I just keep it like this because I like everything in HD. And your frame rate is up to you, whatever you feel like using this for. And it's going to be a duration of 10 seconds. All right. Now, let me just rearrange this real quick. Okay. Speaking of arrangements, as you can see over here, where I'm clicking on all these different panels and stuff like that, this stuff here you might see and you may not see. Like for instance, Move Anchor Point is like a plugin that I downloaded and stuff like that. Maybe one day I'll present you how this works, whatever. But I'm sure if you look for Move Anchor Point plugin tutorials on YouTube, you can find it anywhere. But anyway, that's neither here nor there because we're not really going to use it per se. But anyway, so we're going to get started. So all we really need now is you need to find yourself you see it says a simple world map. You don't have to have a simple one. You can have a bunch of whatever. But you need to find like a PNG file of a world map. More specifically, something that's SVG as well, because you can scale this sucker and it will look good no matter where you have it and stuff like that, so you don't lose quality. So anyway, we're going to drag that onto our composition here. And as you can see, it's nice. That's just what it looks like. It's a flat thing. Let's right click on this and transform that sucker to fit our comp. So fit our comp there. And then you're going to go to your effects, type in CC sphere, or just the first 2 letters, doesn't matter. Take that, drop it on here. Boom. See? It's all done, right? Yeah, we're done. Yeah. Okay. All right. So for the rotation, what you want to do is rotate this. It's going to give it 3 different rotations, right? So you have your X, Y, and Z. So you want to rotate it on your Y axis. Because if you do Z, it would just go like that, up and down, or to the side, or whatever the case may be. Let's reset all that. So to get this seamless rotation, it's pretty easy. Just hit Alt on your keyboard. I should mention I'm running Windows, so for Mac I don't know if it's Command or something else, but you just hit Alt on your Windows keyboard here and you hit the stopwatch. And nope, that's not the one. Let's get out of that. Sorry about that. So we're gonna hit the stopwatch at the beginning position here. So just make sure your timer is at the front here, and then we're gonna go all the way to the end of the comp, and we're going to hit 1 right here. So that would create a rotation like all the way around. So in 10 seconds, this globe will spin all 360 degrees in 10 seconds. Much faster than what the world spins at, for a whole day or whatever. So now we're done with our rotation. That's all done. Now, your radius and different things, this would just like increase or decrease how this looks, so it'll just keep it at default for now. anything else. So there's your renderer, right? So there's inside, there's outside, there's the inside, there's full and stuff like that. But for now, we'll leave it at full because that would determine how your stuff looks later. And your light source and everything like that we can leave for later. Even your shading, you can even go in here and make this really shiny or whatever the case may be. Doesn't really quite matter at this point. So we'll do all that a little bit later. Okay, so let's just close this up right here. Now what we're going to do is create we're going to create a new solid. If you want to create a new solid, you have to just right click in the little area here and you hit new solid. And we're going to call this world fill. We'll change the color later. It's pretty easy to do when we do that, but we're just going to create that. And then we're going to bring this under our map here. And we're going to drop the same CC sphere right under here. So to change this color, or if you say, to change the color of this, we just go into your layer and solid settings, and you can go here and just change the color to whatever you like, and you see it would change in real time. But what we want is something that's that's there. Also, I should mention Adobe color themes come with this sort of thing. So this will be our ocean or sea or whatever, the world sea, whatever. You can just type in sea or ocean, and then the really cool thing about this, it would reach out and look for color combinations of the ocean or whatever the case may be that we're looking for, the color that we're looking for. So this tutorial may turn a little bit different than what we saw from earlier before. So now we're gonna grab, let's see, sea life blue. Sure, let's click on that, and let's go with maybe some light like that. And then you scroll down. If they'll let you scroll down, for some reason I can't get any lower. Oh, there we go. All right, so we're just gonna copy. You can, it's kind of weird, it doesn't let you copy it, but if you just like kind of click inside and then you hit Control A and then C, it'll actually let you copy it, the hex code that you need. And then so we'll go back to the layer, solid settings, and we just type, it will already be highlighted right here, the hex code, and boom, and change it to that. Boom. So now we have our ocean. Except now it's kind of cool that you can actually see all the way through, but we're not trying to be ultra realistic with this. So what we do is go back into your sphere, your world or whatever, and you change your render to like outside. So that way now when it rotates, it disappears into the back and then comes all the way back around and stuff like that. I mean, if you want to keep it on the inside or just full, or whatever makes it works for you. I like to do outside. That's what we're doing here. So that way it kind of disappears into the moon in a way, because it's like the sun is over here and the moon is over here because of the position of the earth or whatever the case may be. So now that's done. We'll go back to our world fill here, and we're going to turn our radius maybe down a little bit to give it, probably like just like that, give the landmass a little bit of like it's like sticking up above the ocean in a way or whatever. And we're also going to change this to inside. Yep, there we go. So that way it gives it kind of a transparent, lucid type of thing, so it may look a little bit more like water in a way. And then we're going to change up the light, the intensity. Actually, no, the direction of where the light is going to be pointed. So we want the light to be pointed this way. Yep, I think that's be good. So about 91 degrees. It depends on what you want. Like I said, this is all about your imagination, how pretty you really want to make this. And we can turn up the intensity just a touch. And the really cool thing is you can change the light color to match your water itself, like with the little like dropper here, although you won't be able to see it at that point, so we'll just step back and we'll just leave it at that for now. Okay, so next thing what we want to do is hit the world fill, hit Control D on your keyboard, and that will duplicate this layer. So now we have two layers. So with this, with the world fill, number one here, what we're going to do is go back into our effects up here, effects and presets, and we're going to look for grid. All comes with things. So we're going to look for generate grid. Take that and drop it on here. So now you see just like it is like a white grid. Let me turn this on so you can see it. And that's not what we want. We want it to be, you know, wrapped. So what we do is we take grid, since is, you know, because since we duplicate one, the same effects is going to be on that same layer. So what we're going to do is then go up and move this above. Sorry, I guess it's not working. Go down here and boom, now you have your grid all in that little wraparound thing. And the cool thing is you can also change this to like, say, maybe like a teal or something, or like a really bright green or whatever. Yeah, it's up to you what you want to do. Let's just leave it for like this kind of blue for now. And then you can do all kind of stuff like your blending mode and stuff like that. We can even do like stencil alpha, which completely disappears, or normal, or multiply, where, you know, it gives it a little bit of a hint or whatever. For now, we'll just keep it on normal for now. And, you know, you can stylize it however you would like. It's up to you. Next thing we're going to be doing is add our background. So we're going to create another background, you know, hit solid, and we're just going to call it BG, or, you know, background for short. And we can change the color later because we're not sure yet. So what we're going to do is the background that I put up, I put a ramp on it, so gradient ramp. So you want to take that, drop that onto your background, and it's going to change the colors immediately. So you want to change your ramp shape to radial, so it can have like a middle thing here. And what you want to do is grab this first point here, bring it down right here, and then you want to swap your colors, so it will look like that. And then you're going to grab this other point down here and bring it across, and that will like kind of create like a vignette effect in a way. So now that you have that, you pick your lighter color that you want, and let's see, I went with like a blue-ish thing here, and boom, now you have your world, right? So it's a little dark on the world map itself, right? So let's change it up a bit. Let's like try to get the light intensity up. So we're gonna bring that up like so. Maybe let's try 200. It's pretty bright. And another thing you want to, like, if you ever have any experience with Photoshop, you can do certain things like drop a, you can do certain things like it, so like say put a drop shadow on it, right? So let's grab the drop shadow, drop it on there. So now I see it looks like if I zoom in a bit, you can see how, let me see, I turn it on and off for you, how it gives it a little bit more dimension. So let's leave it there for now. So you can leave it here. You can, you know, get all creative with it, like, you know, turn up the opacity, whatever you're trying to do, so it gives it a little bit more harder edge there. And you can even like maybe turn up the softness a bit, so, you know, like that, and that way you will like, you know, and as you can see here, like it just fades off into the night, come back around, boom, boom. And it was really cool. If you look on the right side there, you see as it goes around, how it kind of like creates a bit of a shadowish dimension, like it's going through something. I think that's pretty cool. From there, like, you know, whatever sort of blend-in perspective options, whatever you want to drop onto your picture is completely up for you. And I'll let you know, I will be providing this in the project files as well if you want this. You don't have to use it. If you want to use it as a way to like test it out and make it pretty, whatever the case may be, go right ahead. You can even like take this and put it into Photoshop. What I mean is the picture itself, and do your thing, do your magic to it, and come back and, you know, make it all pretty. Really up to you. But more or less, we're more or less done, guys. So the diffusion and stuff I was talking about, which is we're going to go under here in the shading and whatnot. So there are different things you can do, like the ambient stuff, like diffuse it, like, you know, make it more shiny, specular, that sort of thing. And it depends on how much you want to do. It's really up to you. So, you know, like I said, it's really up to like how far you really want to push this, how realistic you want it to look and stuff like that. It would take probably way more time than this perspective, like what we're doing here. So let's change the grid lines to like a different color, like something a little bit more prominent, like kind of stuck, like I guess we go with what we had before. I just hit cancel, because it's kind of subtle what's happening there. So we can even change that a bit too, and like maybe do something like that on the outside, and which kind of brings the makes it a little flat. Or we can just do it on the inside, so you can see that as well, or just full, whichever you want. But we'll keep it on the inside for now. That's pretty much how that works right there. Now, we're going to create a shadow for this whole thing. And we're going to put it onto the world fill number 2 under here, which is like kind of like the inside ball on top of that one. It's kind of weird, I know, but it's like in there. So we're going to take the drop shadow. I'm just going to drop it on there. And we're going to turn it all the way up. Make this 180 degrees, so it's pointing down, and then we're gonna crank the distance up, see right here, so we can like leave it to like say maybe here, and then we're gonna take the softness and like spread that out until it looks just enough like that. And the really cool thing is, if you were to select all your layers here except for the background, you can grab it and you see the shadow will go wherever you go, and that this will actually rotate no matter where you put it and stuff like that. So let's bring that back to the middle. If you want to bring things back, like just hit Control Z, you can. It's like almost infinite number of times you can do this. So very basic. Just hit a pre-render. Depending on how fast your computer is, it may or may not do this. It depends on how complex your stuff is. It may or may not do this on time. And pretty much, it's not exactly the same as the one I created, the one I had before. That's because I spent a little bit more time on it to get pictures right. Just the coloring, whatever, and all this other bullshit. But you can go ahead and do this yourself. And like I said, any sort of blending options that you want to add to your layer is actually pretty easy. You just select your particular layer that you want, and you go to like say where is it, layer styles, and like say if you wanted to add bevel and emboss to give this a little bit pushed up, like make it look a little bit more like some landmass there. So you can do that, like say outside bevel, say like it pushed up a little bit, or inside, or just emboss it, up to you, wherever you feel like doing, and you can see how that will make everything look, but like I said, up to you. Your imagination is what will slow you down. Trust me. Let me fit this back. So that's it, guys, for my tutorial. I hope you guys liked it. It was my first one. I'll try to make them shorter going forward and stop saying a lot, and get back to drinking my tea so I can sound even more sexier going forward on all this stuff, and all that good stuff. And next time I will have something on, I will show you how to render this out as a just as a transparent animation, or just as the animation as you see it here in whole, and how to use it in different things like Photoshop, or actually no, I'll show you how to use it in Premiere, or even OBS or Wirecast, anything that you use to actually stream out or whatever. It's actually pretty easy. You just have to have an understanding, a lot of hard drive space. All right, guys. Until next time, look out for my next tutorial. Leave all constructive criticism in the comments. I'm not afraid of it. And I appreciate you for watching. Bye for now.